After looking at examples of operating systems, now let's go over the actual operating system jobs. If you like operating system and you want to deal with operating system layer where you don't want to touch the hardware, you don't want to have a screwdriver in your hand, and you just want to deal with typing and working with the operating system level, then these are the list of jobs you should look into. The first one that I have is the system administrator's jobs. Now this is the primary and basic job of system administrator, is to actually deal with the operating system. Any issue that you have with the operating system, any type of implementation, you are responsible for installing the operating system. You are responsible for configuring the hardware at the first time when it arrives at your data center. You are responsible to upgrade its firmware if there is a need. You are responsible to configure it through its console. You install the operating system and you configure the operating system. So these are the type of jobs system administrators do. Also, you deal extensively with operating system troubleshooting. If you have an issue and most likely those issues are going to get escalated from the PC technicians or IT help desk. They cannot resolve it, so it will be escalated to you. Then we have systems engineers. Systems engineers are those people who actually been through the system administration jobs in their life, and now they are at the engineering level, which is a step up. In this engineering level, you actually design the entire infrastructure. You actually build the infrastructure together, not just one server, but many different servers. Then you have web application administrators. They are also the ones who deals with building the websites, particularly any websites that are running on operating systems. Their primary responsibility is make sure that website is up and running. And of course, there are many different web servers that you could utilize. One of them is Apache. The other one is a Tomcat. Then you have infrastructure engineers. Infrastructure engineers are all in all, they are the one who actually deal with many different components of IT. Not just this operating system, but they also deal with somewhat of hardware. They deal with the operating system. They deal with somewhat of applications, somewhat database, and they actually touch many different technologies. Then you have solution engineers. Solution engineers and the architects are the one who actually design, put on a blueprint and put it together. How many servers do we need to build this entire data centers? How many servers or how many storage, how many networking devices we need to complete this entire data center? Those are the people who actually deals with the blueprint of your infrastructure. DevOps engineers. Now, DevOps engineers are actually the title or the role that has been recently created. I should say not more than 2 to 5 years ago. This is actually the combination of people who work with the operating system, as well as who actually very fluent in programming languages. So not only they actually manage the infrastructure, manage the systems, they also want someone who could write the codes, who could actually know some languages, and many languages are like perhaps Java, C, C++, and many other languages which I will cover in the later lecture. So these are the people who are actually DevOps engineers. They definitely make a lot of money, and if this is something that you want to get in, you always have to start your path from help desk to operating system engineer, infrastructure engineer, get into more knowledge of the programming languages, and to the DevOps engineer. Then we have field engineers. These are the people who actually work for the companies like Red Hat, HP, and all those big companies. And what they do is they actually go out on a field trip to a customer site, to a client site, to fix their computers. They are also fixing their operating system as well as their hardware. These field engineers are the one, let's say, if they are from Red Hat, they're gonna come on site, and if there are issues, they're gonna spend spend some time to troubleshoot the issues with you. So if you are into traveling, if you are into working outside, you are not the person who wants to sit on your desk, then this is the right job for you. But again, for this type of job, you do need to know the operating system. And which operating system, that I have already covered that in my previous slide. Those are the list of operating system that you guys should pick and go over it. Then product engineers. Product engineers, of course, are very much similar to field engineers. However, product engineers only deal specifically to one product. So if, let's say, Red Hat has a new product called virtualization, their new virtualization technology, or their satellite technology, or any product, they actually have people who actually deal specifically in that technology. So when they sell those technologies out to the people, to the consumers, to the clients, then these product engineers are the one who actually traveled with the sales guys to actually help them sell that product and tell them about the technology. Then you have the principal engineer. Pretty much principal engineer's job is the same as systems engineer, but with a lot more responsibility. Sometimes principal engineers are also the ones who have some type of lead. They also manage some system administrators. Then you have platform engineers. Platform engineers are specific to one platform. If a company has multiple operating system environment, most likely they're gonna deal with one platform, or somewhat the most two operating systems. Then we have backend and data center engineers who are actually sitting at the data center, or who often travel to the data center every time there's an issue. Of course, if there's an issue, you will call your vendor. They will charge you a lot of money, or you might have to have a contract with them. But with the backend or data center engineer, they are most likely close to the data center, who travel there all the time, who are responsible for racking and stacking the servers, building the servers, troubleshooting the systems. Then I have the implementation consultants. I will focus on the consultant part here, because many of the jobs that most likely that you will be getting into will be the consulting jobs. What it means that you might not get into the full-time job right out the door. You will have to spend some time consulting. And I tell you, and I kid you not, if you will get into the consulting job, you will learn a lot. Because in consulting jobs, you have to actually fulfill a task at a specific time, at a specific rate. So when you have that kind of pressure, you learn a lot. And also, if you are not a person who would want to work for a boss, you want to work for yourself, the consulting job is for you. There are advantages and disadvantages of consulting. One is you don't get the benefits, for example, medicals and health insurance. Whereas on the regular full-time job, on the W-2 jobs, you get all those benefits, but at the same time, you have a boss you have to report to. So anyway, guys, this is the list of job titles that I have covered under operating systems. Again, operating system is the layer, is an operating system. It's a software that runs on top of the computer. If you like that piece, that layer, and that's where you want to get your hands on, this is where you should spend your time in. And how do you gonna get your spend time in? Let's say even if you are in Udemy or any other website that are educational and they are teaching you courses, all you have to do is go in and put it in, let's say, Red Hat administration, or Windows operating system administration, or Mac administration, or Mac operating system. You're going to find tons and tons of courses out there that will help you understand those operating system. And as you learn those operating system, as you spend more time in it, I will encourage you to go do jobs for people, even internships, or learn a lot about from other people who are already in that field, who could help you get into that field.